It just turned 4 o'clock, so we'll wait a few seconds. And while we're waiting for others to join you or join us for today's project, I will share with you these two Halloween cards. I made these during Wednesday evening's Facebook Live, and I love how they turned out. The featured products were the Bewitching bundle, which includes the stamp set and a punch, and then the diagonal stripes on each were made with with a single die from the Sweet Candy Canes bundle. So lots of great things. And in that video, I also quickly showed you different ways you could use those diagonal stripes. So if you haven't seen it already, please check it out here on Stampin' Peace with Mary Knabe. It is not yet posted to my blog. Today on the blog, I put up a couple of pictures from Tuesday afternoon when I had some children here to craft. And then I also posted about the masking paper techniques that we went over a couple of weeks ago, and made some really pretty cards with that and the Forever Fern stamp set. Hi there, everybody. It's so nice to have you here. Hi, Beth from Maine. I am having a good day. It's been quite hectic. I'm doing that direct sales blogging intensive program, which lasts several weeks. And I think this was week 5, I believe. And I already have a blog, but for people that don't, they can start and build their own blog, which I did not do myself. But in the early winter, my blog is going to be converted to a different, service. So I thought, what a great thing for me to do, since I'm already established on a blog and I'm going to be changing it to learn as much as I can about everything that a WordPress blog can do. And I am not a big fan of technology. I'll say I have a love-hate relationship with technology. It's exactly what it says, intensive program. And our Fridays are kind of like the bulk of the training, whereas Monday and Wednesday is a little lighter. So it's long. It's, at least 2 to 3 hours. And my brain was about to explode, and I felt like I just needed a break from sitting and thinking for a bit. So thank you for being accommodating and showing up here today at 4 p.m. instead of 2 p.m. I do want to show you a couple things because I just got a Stampin' Up! Delivery, and there were some things in there that I want to show you about what's coming in September. I know it's only the middle of August, but I just want to give you a heads up about this. In September, customers can take advantage of the Perfect Pairings promotion. And what this is Stampin' Up! Has chosen just a few select stamp sets from the annual catalog and are going to provide die sets for those just for 1 month only. Anything demonstrators have been told is that it's just this exclusive promotion 1 month only. So you'll be getting more information about that, but I want to give you a heads up. Recently, I used the This Birthday Piggy stamp set, and guess what? This is one of the Perfect Pairings, and this is so cool. There is, of course, the 3 shapes that cut out the 3 piggies. There's a banner, there's grass, there's a little present with a bow, there's party banners, leaves, little squigglies for birthday confetti, I guess. The wagon is too darn cute, but so many, not just dies to cut out these 3 images, but so much more. It's going to be so fun creating with these. Now, I already had this, so I just purchased on the demonstrator pre-order. That's one of the great benefits about being a demonstrator. We can get early release on products, pre-order them. So that's what I did. I only needed the die. So when the Perfect Pairings promotion happens in September for all of you customers, please know that you can buy just the dies if you already own the stamp set, or if you don't own the stamp set, you can buy the 2 items together as a bundle. So that's makes it easy, convenient ordering. I also purchased the fresh cut flowers. This was a stamp set that's been on my wish list. I was considering purchasing, but when I heard I could get the dies to go with it, I thought certainly that's what I'm going to do. So look for that one in September. And then finally, again, Apple Harvest was a stamp set that's on my wish list. And I decided to go ahead and order it now during the demonstrator pre-order and get all of these amazing dies that come in this coordinating die set. So please know that that is coming. There are a few other items that will have coordinating dies to go with them. So information about that will be coming out soon, but that doesn't start until September, and it's 1 month only. So I just want to tell you ahead, in case you're somebody like me who had a couple of these on her wish list, but it prompted me maybe to buy them a little sooner, because now I can get the dies as a demonstrator on my pre-order. And again, for customers, the Perfect Pairings promotion starts September 1st. All right, this Apple Harvest stamp set and the Apple Blossoms dies are going to be used for today's project. So I'm going to flip my camera around now, and when I'm doing that, would you please share this live video and invite others to join us for today's card making demonstration. Alrighty folks, you can see that we are going to be using the Stampin' blends today. So I've got those already out, and I'll go over those as I use them. And again, Apple Harvest stamp set and the Apple Blossom dies. What I want to point out to you here is there is this little blossom and then the 3 apple images. These all have dies to cut those out. And then you get extra things like the scallop border, a sentiment strip, which could accommodate these. And then there's some other, what do I want to say, extras, bonus dies, I'll call them, okay? Bonus dies. And it includes the flowers, and it's got flower centers, lots of leaves, this branch, this cuts out that, but lots of extras. And how fun is this going to be? And you could even just cut out the flowers and the leaves just from cardstock, okay? It doesn't have a coordinating, they don't have coordinating stamped images. So it'd be fun to kind of extend the life of this die set by using just the flowers and leaves. All right, and of course that scallop border punch you could use on any of your cards that you see fit. So I have all of my things here. The first thing I'm going to do is stamp, whoops, I already have it out, stamp that largest image. You know, I need to move this a little bit for the demonstration. Is that a little better, I think? Okay. The other day I had a little, let me pull it up. The other day I had a little trouble working within the viewing screen. All right, so I'm going to ink this up with black Memento ink, And I'm using that because I am coloring with Stampin' blends. Those are my favorite coloring tools. And this is the recommended ink to use with Stampin' blends, but I'll also say it's my favorite black. I love it so much more than the StazOn, and I use this black for almost everything that I want to stamp black. So first I'm going to color my apples, because those are kind of the focal points. So I'll do those first. And I have here Cherry Cobbler and Real Red. And I'm going to move this dark Cherry Cobbler out of the way. So I'm using light Cherry Cobbler, Real Red, dark, and Real Red light. So I'm going to start with the darkest one, which happens to be the Cherry Cobbler light. And I'm actually just going over, kind of going over those shadowy areas that are part of the stamped images already. I just like to use those as a guide. And then I'm going to go in and do some more outlining with the dark Real Red. You can see this is lighter, so that's why I chose this. I want to just go in there like that. So I have 3 shades of red I'm working with. And of course, you probably know already, you can go over all of these colored spaces again, adding more ink and making them a little bit darker as well. And then finally, I'm going to just swirl some of this Real Red light ink and blend all those lines. And right away, I'm sure you can see why I really like using blends. It's so easy to get different shades of the same color. Makes me feel a little bit more like a real artist, I'll say. And then for the leaves, I'm using Old Olive, starting with the dark, but it doesn't matter if you start with the light or dark. That's just my preference. I prefer to put in the details with the dark and then fill in with the lighter color. And then if I still, after doing that, if I still think I want more contrast between the shades, then I'll go back over some areas with the dark shade again. Those of you who use blends, do you have a preference which way you do it? Do you start with dark first, or do you fill in with the light shade and then go back around and do the dark details? Oops, I missed an apple right there. Did anybody see that? Anybody catch that? Let me go in and fill that apple in before I fill all these leaves in. I'll make it quick. Okay. And then I'm filling in the leaves with the Old Olive light shade. Dark, then light, dark, then light. Hi there, Vesta. I'm glad you found me tonight. Not tonight, this afternoon. I guess it's only 4 o'clock. This has been a really long week for me. My back is still really bothering me, and my sleep is off because of it. But, you know, life goes on. There are worse problems, right? But it just feels like a terribly long week. Maybe it's that vacation I had and then a craft weekend, a girls' weekend, almost back to back. I have a hard time getting back in the groove, but so the Stampin' Blends really are my favorite coloring tool. I would say second to these would be the watercolor pencils. I really love those as well. And then of course we also have the Stampin' Write markers and the soft pastels as well. I need to bring out those soft pastels more and play with them more. I'm sure there's a nice red and green in there that would work well for this Apple Harvest stamp set. And the last color I'm going to use, well, I guess it's not the last, on the stamped image is the soft suede. And for this one, I am going to actually color with the light shade first, just because there's very little extra details in these branches. And a little bit of soft suede dark. And sometimes you don't even have to really color, you just kind of touch the tip to the cardstock. All right, and then finally, oh, Lisa, I'll have to look into that. Kathleen's saying it's frozen on her end. I don't see anybody else saying that. And it's not frozen on my end, so I'll keep going. And I'm just going to do just take around the outline the soft seam foam color. Kind of gives it a little shadow or shading. This is especially nice if I were using this piece on my card without die cutting it, but I'm going to do it anyways, and it will soften the white edge when I do die cut the image. Kathy, that's what I'm thinking, that it's just to a point of arthritis in my lower back and my neck. Because I've had off and on issues with my lower back for a little while now. So I'm sure that I'm going to be told that. All right, I think that's pretty, isn't it? It would be lovely to go on a card just like that, but I'm actually going to die cut it. Because if Stampin' Up! Gives us a wonderful coordinating die set, you know I'm all about it. Isn't that the truth, Kathy? And the sad part is I don't even think I'm old, but sometimes I just feel it. My body's changing. But I guess in a way it is a blessing to, that means we're alive and here for our family and friends, so I try not to complain. This week's been a little rough though. If you're concerned about your die staying in place when you're die cutting, before you roll it through, just use a little bit of washi tape to hold that die in place. And look how nice that is. Oh my gosh. I know, it's crazy. I get this excited about new dies. I really do. All right, let's put our card together. I have a Real Red card base. And then I have a piece of the Gingham Cottage paper in Real Red. And it's cut 4 by 6 inches. So you know that's too big for the card front, right? So I'm going to cut this down to 5 1/4. And I'm going to save that 3/4 inch strip and use it on the inside. Just a little added decoration for the inside. This Gingham Cottage paper is so nice. It's got the smaller size gingham on one side and then a larger size gingham on the opposite. And it comes in all different colors. I think I've shown this before, but I'll show it again because you know I love DSP. But this is something that's so incredibly versatile. Look at this. So there's orange and black, there's greens, there's gray and white, black and white. I guess some of them have, I guess some were large, and there's a few that's large on both sides, it looks like. Yeah, the gray and the black, this pretty green, what is that? Maybe mint macaron. Here's some pumpkin pie in black, more grays. Look at this blushing bride. More black with gray this time. The red daffodil, that looks like calypso coral, and more of the black and white. So super, super versatile. You can use it year round for lots of different paper crafts and card making for just about any occasion. I'm going to put that 3/4 inch strip near the bottom of that DSP, or of the white cardstock. And I like to often just leave a little border of the cardstock at the bottom. But either way, you can take it all the way to the bottom or leave a little white edge. Okay, you could also put it at the top. If your card is horizontal, you could also put it this way. So lots of fun choices. And that tiny little bit of DSP makes such a big difference on the inside of a card. And it's a great way to use up scraps too. It doesn't even necessarily have to be the same DSP that's on the front. I tend to be matchy-matchy, but I know not everybody is. So I've cut soft seafoam cardstock. This is 2.5 by 3 3/4 inches. 2.5 by 3 3/4. And I'm just going to add, whoops, my apples to the front of that. That soft seafoam is a nice soft complement to the old olive leaves and the Real Red, but it's also complements a lot of the other greens as well. So sometimes, you know, I was going to put it on a white background and I got to thinking, oh, wait a second. This would be a nice soft color that doesn't compete with the rest of these bright colors on my card. Now I'm going to do a second layer of dimensionals, but I'm going to point out to you here, I'm only putting the dimensionals in the corners the second time, because then I don't have any dimensionals on top of dimensionals. So this will still go through the mail really well. Oh, let me tell you what I did, what I got in the mail today, right? So I sent Emily a card. She's my daughter that lives in Cincinnati and I'm in Columbus. So I sent her a card, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. And when I was there at her, and she usually puts them up on her refrigerator or posts them somewhere. And when I was there Sunday, I noticed she didn't have that. And I thought, oh, maybe she just hasn't gone to get her mail. And what came in the mail today, that card came back to me. I had the right address, but forgot to put her apartment number on it. Oh, well, it'll still be a surprise when she gets it. And most often I put things in the center, but today I'm changing things up. I'm going to push this up towards the left upper corner. Just like that. And then for a sentiment, I'm using thanks for your kindness, and I'm stamping the sentiment in, what did I do with my, I think I put it back. I had a piece of cardstock out. I must have put it back in there, thinking it was truly scrap. So I'm stamping it in Old Olive, and then I'm going to punch it with my fancy label punch. And I'm just going to pop this up in that corner as well. What do I do with my dimensionals? And it will overlap the soft seafoam cardstock a little bit, but that's okay. And how about a little embellishing with a pretty brushed brass butterfly. Put that right there. I'll add a couple more here. Maybe one even kind of in here. Let's do it up here. And the last thing, I'm going to need to order some more of these butterflies, down to my last 3. And then finally, I'm just going to make a simple bow with this linen thread. Linen thread is kind of a staple in my embellishment and trim collection. In fact, I just ordered more today because I don't like to run out of this. And it's just really kind of a staple because it just makes a nice little added feature or accent to your cards, and you can use it, or even your scrapbook pages or your 3D favors, that sort of thing. But it just makes a nice little accent. Super inexpensive and just really easy to use. And I'm just going to use a dot of multi-purpose glue. I should say, whenever I have kids here crafting, I give them each their own bottle of multi-purpose glue. Just makes life easier if they get their own, and they love it. But before they're allowed to open it, we go over the rule, a dot is a lot. And it was so funny because the other day, Addison picked up her card or whatever she was doing. She's like, oh, I got a little too much glue on here. And Bo looked at her and said, Addison, gotta remember, a dot is a lot. That cracked me up. So anyways, there is our finished apple harvest card. Isn't it pretty? Great for so many occasions. You wouldn't even need a sentiment on this. You could just use it as a note card if you like. It could be, you could make several of them, maybe just put the word thanks on or not, and use them as teacher gifts. Make up a bunch of them and tie them up with a pretty ribbon and make teacher gifts. And I want to show you one more thing here. Kids around here are starting to go back to school. The kids that were here Tuesday started school yesterday. I'm just going to cut a 1/2 inch of this real red gingham paper. Oops, I need to cut it the other direction too. I'm going to make it 5 1/4 inches long. And I'm going to show you a way to make some quick and easy note cards. And first of all, I'm going to adhere a piece of basic white to basic red. The basic white measures 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And the real red cardstock measures 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. So it's not a card that opens, but it is the same size as our standard card, okay? Yes, Joyce, remember that. Nobody forgets it once it's been told. And Jackie Mayer, who shared that with me, is a retired kindergarten teacher. So I figure if the kindergartners can get it, we can all get it, right? Okay, I'm gonna pull out my multi-purpose glue again, and this 1/2 inch by 5 1/4 inch strip of designer series paper, I'm just gonna put right along the top. Now, you could leave your note card just like that. Leave a note for your spouse when you go to work in the morning. Drop it in a backpack or briefcase, or you can stick it in an envelope and mail it or send it to the teacher. But let's finish it off by doing something more. Oh, and both of these, I don't know which one I want to use. I think I'm going to use the Big Apple. The Big Apple sounds like New York, doesn't it? So I'm just going to stamp this with that black Memento ink again onto my basic white cardstock. Oh, I pressed way too hard, didn't I? Let me try that again. Sometimes it's better just to set it down and then lay your fingers across the top, not really push hard. Oh, so much better, right? You can see I pushed hard there. All right, and I'm going to use the same colors that I did for these. So I'm starting with the light cherry cobbler. And I'm just going over those detailed areas that are already there from stamping. Then I'm using my Real Red Dark. You can see it's a little bit brighter than that light cherry cobbler. And I'll add a little more of that to fill in some of the apple. And then finally fill in the rest with the light real red. When I'm blending in shades or more than one color, I kind of like to, you can see I'm kind of circling, going round and round with my Stampin' blend. It just, to me, kind of gets rid of those lines. That's the idea behind blending. We want it to move from dark to light and such, but without having any strong, bold lines in there. And just to be different this time, I'm actually going to fill in this leaf with the light Old Olive first. You've seen my usual way of doing dark details first and then filling in with the light shade. But I'll just go a little opposite this time. Again, there's no right or wrong. It's just whatever you're most comfortable with. And then finally, I'm going to finish up with soft suede. And for this, I'm just using the dark shade. You don't always have to use the light and dark together. All right. And now I'm going to die cut this. What a fun surprise this was, finding out about this Perfect Pairings promotion. And like I said, some of the ones on there, I was already planning to purchase the stamp set. So when I could get the dies, double the fun. And where is, oops. Barbara, you're doing the right thing by practicing your stamping and your coloring. You know, just like anything, we get better and more confident by practicing and doing, right? Oh, Granny Smith apples. Yes. Okay, so would you be using the Granny Apple Green color, I'm thinking? Those make great pies, by the way. I love pies made from Granny Smith apples. And then finally, on my note card, I'm just going to post it, and you could put it anywhere. It could go down in this corner, or it could go up here. Where do you think? Do you have a preference where it goes? And it's okay, even though this is a note card, it's okay to still pop this up with dimensionals. Joyce says, go for the top. Oh, Joyce has a granddaughter who I believe is starting her first teaching job this year. That's pretty awesome. All right, there you go. You want to write a quick note to the teacher or to a friend, or maybe even put this with a bouquet of flowers or a plant or a small gift you're giving to somebody. No matter what, it serves the same purpose as the cards, just a little quicker and easier. I've done this lots of times for, I need a quick something to go with a plant. And I don't really like using the little cards on the plastic pick that you can get with flowers and plants and things like that. And I think this is a great alternative. What do you think? Thoughts on this? So I've shown you 2 examples using the Apple Harvest stamp set and the Apple Blossom dies, which you'll be able to get the Apple Blossom dies in September. I have them because of the demonstrator pre-order. So if you're a demonstrator watching, know that you can get those dies now with the other perfect pairing offerings. And those of you that are customers and viewers, look for those September 1st, okay? Who would like to receive either this lovely greeting card or the note card? Oh, Michelle, I agree. And this is a fun teacher gift as well. Make a stack of these, put them in a cello box or a clear box or a cello bag, put a ribbon on, fabulous. Even the cards are great gifts too. But if you need, if you're making a whole lot, say you have 3 kids and you're making several teacher gifts, this would be a fun one to do and something your kids could help you with too. All right, if you are interested, please write in the comment or type in the comments now, Apple Harvest, Apple Harvest. And I will choose 2 names from those that have commented with the words Apple Harvest. And you know, who said that about the soft sea foam? Beth. I like it too because yes, it's subtle. It doesn't take away from your focal point. It doesn't take over. It's not so bold that it's competing with that bright real red. Just a nice subtle background, but something different than white. We could have even done stamp the sentiment on soft sea foam as well and given that part a softer look as well. All right, everybody, thank you for joining me at this, what is today? Today, August 12th. Thank you for joining me today on Friday, August 12th. I hope you've had a great week, a productive week, and I hope your weekend is even better. So until I see you again on Monday, remember Monday's Facebook Live is permanently changed to 4 p.m. on Monday, okay? 4 p.m. is the new time for Monday Facebook Lives. Alrighty, have a great weekend. Thanks for joining me. And until we meet again, happy stamping.